So hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today what I'm going to be doing is ranking the American Girl historical characters. Now I am going to be using the list or the tier ranking system from AG, or the biggest AG fan ever here on YouTube. She did this video before and she even linked in her description box the template that she kind of used for ranking these dolls. So basically I'm doing the exact same thing. The reason I'm doing this is not to like bash her or anything, but I wanted to do it a little bit differently, and of course I'll link it in this video description as well, so if you want to do it, you totally can. I'm going to do it like chronologically, so I'm going to do it the year, not the year that they came out, but the year that they are kind of in historical timeline. So for example, I'm going to start with Kaya and I'm going to end with Courtney. The very first character is Kaya. So I have complicated, mixed feelings about this doll. First thing, I think it's absolutely amazing and necessary that when you're talking about American history, or I guess just North American history in general, that you must include Native American indigenous history. And I'm definitely kind of sad that they don't really have another Native American character. Like, I wish they had a Girl of the Year Native American character. I do appreciate that she has a different face mold. So when I was doing research, that apparently in the culture that she is from, her native, I guess, nation or tribe, it is very rude to show your teeth. So that's why she has a different face mold than the other American Girl characters who do show their teeth. But I remember reading these books as a kid and I really didn't like her stories. And apparently a lot of people agree with me that the books are really boring. And I feel like if you're gonna have a character who's the only Native American representation in all of the American Girl lines, you need to make sure that it's like spectacular, and I just feel like they didn't do that. So I'm gonna put this in needs improvement. The next doll is Felicity. Now, there's plenty of different versions of Felicity. There's, of course, the Pleasant Company version of Felicity. Then there's the Mattel version of Felicity, which I have. And then there's the Beforever version of Felicity. Her stories were really good. Of course, there is some historical inaccuracies in the stories. And there's some portrayals in the story, especially with her grandfather being a plantation owner. There's some problematic themes there. But I definitely think her courage to do the right thing, even when it's difficult, for example, saving the horse, is a really good message. I'm going to put her in overall good doll. Next is Elizabeth. So there's a few things about Elizabeth. If you actually read the Felicity stories before Elizabeth came out, Elizabeth the doll came out, she's supposed to have black hair. But then when they created the doll and then the book, A Very Funny Elizabeth, they made her blonde with blue eyes. She looks very, very different from all the other dolls on this list. I do agree with a lot of people that she looks very, very fancy. So it took me a while to get used to this doll and to like bond with this doll because she just looks so different from the other ones. But she does, you know, once I got Felicity, she started to grow on me. And I think she's just a very fancy, pretty doll. I'm gonna put her in meh, could have been better. Just because I feel like she totally could have been better. Caroline Abbott. Now I actually have this doll too. I got her when she first came out. I think I'm going to put her in outstanding in every way because I think her face mold, like her face, combination of face mold, her beautiful, beautiful blonde curly hair, her unique eyes, which I don't think any other doll has had. I also personally really like her because, like I've said, I think I've said in this video, but I've said on my channel before, I am Canadian, so I really wanted a doll that had some tie to Canadian history, and we kind of have that a little bit with Kaya because Native Americans, of course, also existed in Canada as well. But this character, Caroline, definitely has a strong tie to Canadian history. Next we have, who do we have? Oh, Josefina, or Josefina. I keep on saying Josefina, but I know she's Josefina, so if I goof up, please don't come at me. I really, really liked her stories as a kid. I wasn't expecting to. Oh, but I also feel like she doesn't get enough attention that she deserves. So I don't know if that should go into meh, could have done better, or overall good doll. No, I'm going to put her in overall good doll because I feel like she should get more attention from American Girl than she actually does. I think it's Marygrace and Cecile, but we'll start with Cecile because her book came first, because the books would alternate. I definitely think she's worth it. I feel like her character is amazing. I love the contrast between Marygrace and Cecile. You know, Marygrace being very shy, Cecile being very confident. I think outstanding in every way is what I'm going to put her in. And then Marygrace, I love Marygrace. Just basically, I think I like her because the contrast of Marygrace and Cecile. I don't think that, maybe Samantha and Nellie, but I don't think any other best friend couple, I guess. I don't know what else to call them. Best friend line, do I like more than Marygrace and Cecile, because I feel like both dolls are equally good. So I'm just going to both put them in outstanding in every way. Who's next? Oh, Kirsten. So Kirsten was my first American Girl doll. Boring looks-wise, but I feel like that might be because it was one of the first dolls. And she's, if you think about it, she came out in 86. So, or 84? 86? I think it's 86 actually that she came out. So of course styles and preferences for, you know, haircuts were different and stuff like that. I'm basically referring to these Big Bang. No, okay, it's going there and it's gonna stay there for a little while. That's my opinions on Kirsten. Addie is next. Addie was another group of stories that I really liked. I didn't like them as much as I liked Josefina or Felicity or Kirsten's, but I still feel like they were pretty good. I feel like I should put her in meh, could have been better, because for the longest time I felt like she was the only black African-American doll, and for a long time, I don't think that that's appropriate for American Girl, because of course black people, and of course people of many different cultures, make up the history of America and North America in general. So I feel like just having one black doll is not, you know, for a long time was not appropriate. So I guess they should have just did more work with her, and even though the things that they did with her just weren't that interesting, so yeah, I feel like they could have given her more attention. So I'm gonna put her in meh, could have been better. Oof. Okay, so Samantha, I love Samantha. I think that she has a fantastic story. At the time when I was a kid, I wasn't really interested in the Victorian period, but well, she's technically Edwardian, even though they call her Victorian all the time, and even though she's from America, which technically you don't classify, because Victorian is based off of Queen Victoria, who lived in England, and of course, you know, America has nothing to do with England or the British royalty, so you're not, I don't know what you're supposed to call it, the 1800s? I don't know, but I remember reading somewhere that you can't really call, well, you can't call her Victorian because she's technically Edwardian. But anyways, this time period in history wasn't that interesting for me when I was a kid, but it definitely talked about a lot of interesting topics such as child labor. I feel like I'm just gonna put her in outstanding in every. Okay, I'm gonna say overall good doll because she is a little bit basic. Next is Nellie O'Malley. Nellie O'Malley, I think, is gonna go into outstanding in every way. Now, I've been looking for a Nellie for over a year now. I'm trying to find her for a reasonable price on eBay, which is very difficult. But I definitely think her character being Irish is so interesting, and her just having the contrast with Samantha is just fantastic. I think she's just such a cute, adorable doll. So next on the list, we have Rebecca. Now, I have some very strong opinions about Rebecca. Now, when Rebecca first came out, she was the first new doll that American Girl released when I started getting into American Girl. I hope that makes sense. So basically, I got into American Girl, and shortly after I got into American Girl, Rebecca came out. So she's the first new doll in my lifetime, I guess. And at the time, they had just retired Samantha, and then they released Rebecca. And I totally felt like Rebecca was just like a knockoff of Samantha. They both have brown hair, they're only 10 years apart, and they're both from New York. Or Samantha, half of her story takes place in New York. So I felt like she was just literally a copy of Samantha. Now, I don't necessarily feel the exact same way, because she is Jewish, and I feel like it's very important to include Jewish voices in the telling of, well, any history, not just American history, but just history in general, and it's just an underrepresented community. So I'm just gonna put in meh, could have been better. No, I'm gonna put it in needs improvement, because I love the concept of having a Jewish doll, but just she could have been better. Kit, I really enjoyed her stories. I really liked how she was a reporter. She was very career driven, even at a young age. I like how she was adventurous and she was brave. But I don't own her, so I don't know if I can say outstanding in every way. I'm gonna put her an overall good doll. Now, Ruthie, I feel like she doesn't have that much character development. She is very pretty, and I feel like she just kind of looks like Samantha too. So I'm just gonna put, you know what? Something went wrong here. Is it Nanea or Nanea? Okay, so fun fact. This doll was not out when I was a kid and when I was into American Girl. So we're gonna do Nanea? I don't know. Correct me in the comments or, you know, let me struggle. It's interesting that we have two historical characters from the same era, World War II. I mean, I don't think they existed at the same time because Molly retired, of course, when I was a kid. I do think she's really pretty. At first, I was really creeped out by her face mold, but I do really like it now. I think it's really cute, and I love her eyes. You know what? I'm going to put her in... May kind of been better. Okay, you know what? She's going in overall good doll, because let's be positive. Yeah, let's be positive. It's okay to put more than a few dolls in overall good doll, but yeah, let's leave her in there. Okay, next is Molly. Now, in the books, I do agree with a lot of people now that she's kind of a bit of a troublemaker. I think that's the most polite way I can put it. I'm just thinking of that scene with the turnips and her just sitting at the table all night, not eating the turnips. So I just think of that scene. That scene just sticks out in my mind. Which it's funny because the next in the scene, the mom puts butter and brown sugar in it and it tastes really good. And I remember being a kid and telling my mom, hey mom, why can't we put brown sugar in our turnips? And she was like, yeah, we already do that. And I was like, oh. So that was a funny story from my childhood there with turnips and relating to Molly's story. It probably wasn't as funny as I think it is, but that's something that happened. I like how she has glasses. You know what? We're going to put her an overall good doll. Even though she's kind of basic. So we're going to move on to Emily, who I'm not even going to hesitate. She's going in outstanding in every way. Now, Emily was the first doll that I bought with my own money. She's definitely worth it. She is the cutest doll ever with cute red hair, and I absolutely love that she is from England. Next is Maryellen. Now, I'm currently reading Maryellen's books. She was not in existence when I was into American Girl the first time, but I always wanted a 1950s doll. I always wrote kind of like American Girl fan fiction, my own little stories about a 1950s doll and going to the mall and seeing a poodle skirt, and that's very similar to what happened in these books. So basically, I wanted a 1950s doll, and then a few years later, they got a 1950s doll. So I'm tempted to put her in outstanding in every way because I really want her really badly. Even though few people say that she's really basic, she's basically the doll that I've always wanted. She's like a dream doll that I wanted before she even existed. So I think she's going to go in outstanding in every way. Next is Melody. Now, Melody has really grown on me recently for some reason. Like, that meat outfit is so cute and so adorable. I'm not really a fan of the 1960s, but I think, the 1960s, the civil rights movement, is a really good thing to talk about. In the 60s, a lot happened, and just a lot of things in the world just changed. So I definitely think that is a very important time to talk about. I feel like I'm putting a lot of dolls in overall good doll. Okay, so Julie is next. I'm going to put her... So I really like Julie's books. Julie's books are amazing, but I think she's kind of basic and really boring when it comes to the way she looks. I don't understand why people are obsessed with her. I really don't get it. I don't really like the 70s either. So I don't really know why people are obsessed with her. Ivy, very interesting, very beautiful doll from pictures I've seen and what people have told me. She doesn't even exist anymore, so there's like no Asian characters in the American Girl historical line that are from China, or like I know Ivy's from China, but there's no dolls from like Japan or another Chinese doll or South Korea. There's just no dolls like that, and that's kind of disappointing. So I feel like I might put that in meh, could have been better. The same reasons I put Addie in there, just that it feels like, if you're going to have one, which I don't think is a good idea to have one doll that represents an entire culture, it has to be freaking amazing. And they didn't really do that. The last one we have is Courtney, who just came out. I think it needs improvement because I feel like I know you might come after me in the comments, but I do think that she looks very similar to Maryellen. I know that Maryellen has green eyes, she has blue eyes, and then her hair apparently is more blonde than it is red. And the reason I'm not putting her in Something Went Wrong here is because I really like her concept of the stories of her wanting to be, I think, like a programmer or something. She likes video games, which I think is really, really cool message to send girls, because of course, you know, video games are like a male-dominated field, even though a lot of girls like playing video games. So I think that's a really good, important message to send. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to change it around or anything. I think, you know, I explained myself, I think, fairly well. And, you know, if you disagree with me, totally feel free to leave it in the comment section below about your opinion. Or if you want to do this, I will leave the link in the description box below so you can do this as well. Or you can just comment and list what you think. I would love to read your opinions and your thoughts. And of course, this is just my opinion. Of course, I can't speak for everyone. So you might think that Ivy is an outstanding doll, or you might think that Courtney is an outstanding doll. And that's like completely okay. That is totally okay. And you're welcome to have your own opinion. And definitely feel free to do that in the comment section below. But that is basically me ranking all the American Girl historical characters. If you like this video, make sure to please like this video and also subscribe to my channel, because I will try to post more American Girl things. And I have some videos already on my channel, so if you want to go watch those. You can also follow me on Instagram, which I post almost daily on, and that is just.dream.studios, and I'll have that in the description box below. If you have any suggestions for other videos, make sure to leave a comment down below as well, or you can private message me on Instagram if the comment sections are not, you know, open. But I think that's it for today, and I'll see you guys next time.